Alright, bitches, we're on to the next episode of Dragon Ball Super. This is episode 73, and this episode is called Gohan's Misfortune, an unexpected Great Saiyaman movie. Mazaka! Now, I feel like I'm a broken record at this point, but I have to say it. This is another awesome episode. I enjoyed this episode so much. This was really, really good. And it's so disappointing how bad episodes 66 and 67 were compared to episodes like this, man. Toei Animation, they really know what they're doing, fleshing these characters out in these slice of life episodes, and they fail in the big dramatic moments like this. I thought this episode was fantastic. There's so many things to talk about in this episode. Episode 66 might have had some great action moments. Vegito is awesome, but the story just meshes so good in episodes like 73. So the episode opens up with Jaco having some ramen. Haha, nice little Naruto thing right there, although it's probably not related to Naruto, but whatever. So Jaco's having ramen, and he has this parasite monster, Wadagashi or whatever, and it's locked up, and, the guy serving him ramen is like, shouldn't you be taking that to prison? And Jaco's like, oh, well, even a super elite gets hungry sometimes, and he's just chilling, and of course, it breaks free, and it heads to Earth. Then we pick back up on Earth, where Gohan and Videl are looking at the TV, and they see that Great Saiyaman is actually going to become a movie, and we're introduced to a couple of characters. There's this guy, Barry Khan, who is going to be playing Great Saiyaman in the movie. There's an idol, Coco, who's going to be playing the love interest. And Mr. Satan is actually going to be in the movie. And it's super interesting because I saw this on Twitter, but it was almost like the movie is being framed as like a Batman versus Superman type thing. Only, Great Saiyaman versus, Mr. Satan. I thought that was a really, really nice touch, and I love it a lot. Now, we see an interview with Barry, the head actor, and it's revealed that Great Saiyaman, hasn't really been active or spotted at all, probably since the Buu saga. They specify that he appeared briefly for only a short while, and then he hasn't really been heard of much since. So clearly, Gohan didn't really go back to being a superhero after, the beating of Kid Buu and such. Now, Barry does have possibly a slight resemblance to Naruto, and I've seen some people saying that the assistant director of the film himself, he does appear to be kind of like a fat Ash Ketchum from the Pokemon anime, and I can see it a little bit. And I also saw some people on Twitter saying that the director of the film, it kind of looks like they're going for like a George Lucas kind of lookalike, and I could see it a little bit. I looked up a picture of George Lucas, and then you kind of look at the animation here, and you're like, okay, I guess I could see it a little bit here. Now, this next scene is awesome. We see how Barry is treating a lot of the, crew members and stuff, and clearly he's a giant fucking prick. And Mr. Satan is showing Gohan, Videl, and Pan around the movie set. And this dude, Barry, comes up to Videl, and he's like, oh, what agency are you from? And Videl's like, Nani, huh? And he's like, oh, you're so beautiful. I had to mistake you for an actress. And Videl, man, showing that she is too real, too loyal. Listen, Videl is top fucking tier, okay? This dude Barry sleazing on her like, oh, you want an autograph? And Videl's just like, well, you can get your fucking hands off of me. I got my husband, my man, right here. Videl is the real MVP for this episode for showing her loyalty. Gotta love that. Videl being faithful to the husband. Praise Videl. That was awesome. Then in the next scene, we see this boy Barry being another cocksucker where, they have a Great Saiyaman stuntman, because obviously, just like Hollywood, they're not going to have the $20 million actor do these super dangerous stunt scenes. And this dude, Barry, he wants the Great Saiyaman stuntman to jump on top of a tank as it's speeding by, which is something that, no, that's not going to happen. And of course, Gohan is standing there, and Gohan offers to jump in and take the place of the stuntman, and he can do it. And of course, we know, Gohan has fucking superpowers, so he'll easily be able to do it. And he says, Barry kind of goes like, oh yeah, so, if you're going to be in one of my movies, you'll be popular with the girls. And Videl is like about to say some shit, and Gohan's like, actually, that's true. When Pan grows up, I'll be able to show her this movie. And it's like, oh, okay. Yeah. Although the way Pan was acting in GT, she probably wouldn't want to see Papa in this movie, but we'll see. So Gohan puts the suit on and obviously fucking dominates and does it easily. And everyone loses their mind, and they're kind of like, oh shit, you have to be like the real stuntman now. You're amazing. And it's funny, Gohan is like, well, no. And Videl runs up, and she's like blushing, and she's like, oh, you putting the suit on, it brought back memories and made my heart pound. And I'm like, oh, Videl. Gohan, looks like you're going to be making more than her heart pound tonight, Gohan, my boy. Then in the next scene, it's actually pretty interesting. We see a bank is being robbed by two, thugs or criminals. And Krillin is actually in there. And of course, Krillin could take these guys down, no problem. And, Gohan is kind of walking by the bank that's being robbed. And he's like, oh shit, I've got the Stuntman Great Saiyaman costume with me. I'll just pop it on, go in there and take them down. And these two criminals, right? So these guys, they recognize Great Saiyaman, and they're like, oh, you did this to us. Now, the story with these criminals is that they were actually criminals in the manga, but they weren't adapted into the anime. In the anime, the Great Saiyaman saga, these guys weren't actually in there. They are in the second Dragon Ball Z opening, We Gotta Power. You see Great Saiyaman, beat their asses. But it is interesting because this is a reference to the manga, and they're kind of moving forward as though this is canon. Like, the way Dragon Ball Super is operating, all the different things it's pulling from, really does fuck the continuity up. It's not so bad, though. I mean, you could always say that, this little scene with Gohan, as a Great Saiyaman beating up these criminals, this could have taken place off screen. Obviously, we didn't see every single time Gohan was the Great Saiyaman during the Great Saiyaman saga back in Dragon Ball Z, so it's not such a big deal. Now, one of these criminals, he gets taken over by the little parasite fucker that Jaco let go, and, he actually puts up a little bit of a fight. Gohan still wrecks him easily, and, he's about to do the Kamehameha, but then he's like, he sees everyone watching, he's like, oh, Great Saiyaman beam! That shit was pretty good. And I do gotta say, I do consider myself a big Gohan fan, and, everyone is clamoring so fucking hard for the return of Gohan. All these YouTubers are putting out, like, Gohan comeback videos nonstop, and people are loving it. People just want to see Gohan come back so much. And after this episode, this Gohan-centric episode, I do want even more. I really, really would love to see Gohan return to prominence. Or at least, if Gohan would just have a good fight in the Universal Survival arc, that'll be good enough for me. Gohan doesn't even need to win, but if he had some sort of really inspiring, fight, that would be awesome. Think of when Vegeta is fighting Kid Buu, and Kid Buu trashes Vegeta, fucks his ass up, and, Kid Buu smashes Vegeta into the ground, shoots a blast at him, creates a big crater, and Vegeta's at the bottom of it, bloody, fucked up, and Kid Buu walks away, and he's, laughing and dancing, and then Vegeta's like, what the fuck are you laughing at? And Kid Buu turns around, and he's shocked, Vegeta, covered in blood, transforms, and he's like, the Saiyan Prince is not going down that easy. If we could just get some sort of moment like that with Gohan in the Universal Survival arc, honestly, that will be good enough for me. But this episode does make me even kind of clamor for Gohan to have some sort of good moment upcoming in the future. Now, after Gohan, does that, finishes off the bank robber, he beats the dude's ass that's, infected by the parasite, Wadagashi. Gohan, basically fucking dominates it, and it's able to escape into a sewer system, so it hasn't quite been taken down yet. Then when Gohan goes to the movie set the next day, everyone, having seen how amazing Gohan is with the stunts, and then the fact that he took home the Great Saiyaman stunt costume, people are like, oh shit, Gohan-kun, you're the Great Saiyaman. And Bulma actually shows up and kind of gives a story about how she had created a suit that was stolen, and everyone believes her because clearly Bulma at this point has like a really, really, big time reputation as one of the world's greatest scientists. Now, the subs are referring to Bulma as Dr. Bulma. I'm not sure if that's actually what they're saying, but that does seem, very logical with how intelligent Bulma is, how many great inventions she's probably contributed to the Dragon Ball world at this point. Later on, Gohan and Bulma are on a roof, and Bulma's kind of trying to tell Gohan, like, be careful, remember family first, blah, blah, blah. And they talk about Gohan being the great Saiyaman. And then the camera zooms out, and you see that the idol, the love interest of the movie Coco, overhears it. And she apparently is getting turned on as shit. Like, she's basically trying to fuck Gohan. Like, you see, she's seducing him strong. And she's like, oh, help me with my lines at my house. And it's like, whoa, girl, we could see what you're after. Slow down. But she eventually blackmails Gohan. It's like, again, we literally saw this in Dragon Ball Z. Gohan, like, these girls just cannot contain themselves with Gohan. They are blackmailing him, seducing him every step of the way. And, she does what a normal person probably would do, and that's she kind of like sits on Gohan's back as he flies around as Great Saiyaman. Like, I'm sure a normal person probably would, like, if you found out, like, your friend could fly, you're like, okay, well, can you fly and, like, take me with you so I can see what the world is like from up there like that? Yeah, that would be something that would happen. And while Gohan is flying around up there, we see Jaco actually shows up with his spaceship. And it's ridiculous because they play the Super Saiyan 3 theme from Dragon Ball Kai, which was also played when Vegito reappeared in Dragon Ball Super. This like huge iconic theme now that's tied to Vegito Blue. And it's like Jaco posing like, I know you're in Great Saiyaman Wadagashi. And it's like, whoa, Jaco, come on now. And then, of course, he, his spaceship pulls out this huge mega cannon and it shoots at Gohan and the episode ends. Definitely, though, this was an awesome episode. This shit is so fantastic. I mean, honestly, I'm going to be pretty disappointed to get into the next big arc. That might be a very unpopular opinion, but these slice of life episodes they're just so good. Every one of these episodes is fucking phenomenal. And, like, I'm just scared that, again, Dragon Ball Super will collapse under the weight of its own narrative once we get into an actual story involving the gods and the, Dai Shinkan and all these guys. I just pray that they can keep the level of quality in these filler episodes in the main story. It's like the complete reverse of Naruto, where Naruto just has the worst trash filler ever in the history of humanity. But the story, the actual plot, those episodes are usually pretty fucking good. Dragon Ball Super is the complete opposite. For now, I'm gonna enjoy this ride, these fucking awesome slice of life episodes. 10 out of 10, must watch.